So, citizens' participation for non-agenda items only. Now, I'm going to have a brief reminder that you have 5 minutes to talk, and you cannot donate your time to anybody else. Okay? So, if you have anything for citizen participation, please step up to the microphone, give your name and address, and then you may proceed. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Hurd. My address is 14.
There's no volume.
Rick, Mike.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Hit that.
Mic me here?
Kathy.
That?
There you go.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Catherine Hurd. I live at 1415 Park Avenue. I'm here to go on record with my concerns about the incident at our city park on Saturday, April 15th that involved the removal of 3 of our community waterfowl by a private citizen. The absence of Nobby, Mr. Speckles, and Ducky, they have names, was noticed immediately. The incident created a lot of outrage, speculation, and rumors on social media. Supposedly a woman witnessed trapping and removing them. Said she was saving them from the cold weather, even though they had just survived the winter, thanks to the caretaking of La Junta citizens. Mr. Mayor, you posted your understanding of what happened on Facebook early on, and then disappeared from the ongoing conversation. Calls to the La Junta Police Department by myself and others were met with the response that nothing could be done, the flock weren't city property. I even have a voicemail from an on-duty code officer stating there was no ordinance against capturing them. I want to commend Park Director Brock Hinkhaus for actually listening to me and his diligence and outstanding public service in trying to secure their return, and in discovering that there is and has been a city ordinance in place regarding disturbing any animal in a city park since 1971. So while I initially thought I'd be coming here to ask this council to pass such an ordinance, instead I'm here to express my disappointment with how the city responded. A code officer should have been dispatched. Maybe it could have made a big difference. If the city has pursued any further action, please let the community know. Here's the real rub for me. On April 21st, I took the time to email Mayor Ayala, Councilmember Ochoa, and Councilmember McIntyre about the incident. To date, I have not received a response from any of you. As a voter and taxpayer, that's unacceptable. I don't get it. Y'all talk about revitalizing La Junta. I totally support that. I chose to move here. Let's bring tourism for the Tarantula Festival and other things unique to La Junta. Let's work to attract new businesses. That's all great. But you can't discount the little things that matter to those of us who live here, as silly or unimportant as you personally may think they are. The thing about small towns, and I've lived in a number, is that the littlest of things make a huge difference. Like having the ducks in the city park who have lived there for nearly a decade. Funny thing, when I came in here today, I walked to the back corner and I saw a little song up there. And within the first verse of that song, it talks about the ducks and the geese at the city pond. So I guess maybe let's go ahead and put signs up against disturbing critters in the park, because honestly, I and others do witness it all the time. Kids chasing waterfowl into the street, teenagers trying to catch a wild goose to sell for food, a young boy throwing rocks at squirrels, almost always with the parents present. More importantly though, I think maybe we need to do better to hold all of you accountable for taking action when citizens speak out. And as I understand it, a lot of folks spoke up and nothing was done. So I, for one, will be paying closer attention and expecting a lot more. A friend of mine would like me to share just a brief experience that she had at the park on April 9th. A young boy, probably 9 years old, started chasing the black and white duck on the south side of the pond. Right away, she told him to stop, or you're scaring him. Chased him all the way into the street. She was able to bring him back over and to stop the duck from getting hit by a car. This was one of the 3 ducks that were stolen. It's so sad the ducks are there for all of us to enjoy. She is glad so many people are speaking out. She said, evil can only exist when good men and women keep quiet. So continue to keep speaking out. And yes, this may seem like a silly, minor thing to a lot of people who are worried about taxes and, 1 penny, increases and all that. But these things matter to us. And the city pond is a very sad place now for those of us who enjoyed them. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Catherine, I'd like to address I apologize, because I've been around for 33 years, and I didn't know about no ordinance when they asked me, and so I learned something. 1971. I just sometimes you've been here 33 years, and you're like, okay, I know about every ordinance that's out there. I don't, and I did miss that one.
I understand that,
but anybody who had saw these 3 geese get stolen, please come forward. Let us know who it is and identify them. Let's get this out into open. Let's get our geese back, please. And if you're listening, the person who took it, give us our geese back, would you? That's wrong of you, what you did, and we won't accept it. Thank you.
And Miss Hurd, I just wanted to let you know I've been locked out of my email, and I apologize for that, for not it wasn't intentional not to respond to you. I haven't seen the email, and I apologize for that, because I would have reached out.
I might also add that people don't have to always come to the municipal building to lodge a complaint. They can tell any one of us council persons, and we'll pass it forward.
Yeah, I did. I called the police. Many of us called the police. And again, I guess the thing is they jumped the gun and didn't bother to see if there was an ordinance. Okay? So maybe a little bit more attention to detail in the simple things when you get a lot of people, even one person speaking out.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else for citizen participation? Moving on, new business. Or unfinished business, I'm sorry. Mr. Mello.
Mr. Mayor, for the council's...
Mike.
I'm going to change my first name to Mike. Still can't hear you. Still going to change my name. Okay, Mr. Mayor, for the council's consideration on second reading and ordinance making supplement appropriation to the water fund and the calendar for the calendar year 2023.
All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion we adopt that ordinance number 1645 as presented.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. That passes unanimously.
Okay, so what that ordinance was when we received our ARPA funds of $1.6 million, we chose to rebuild the big water tanks pumping station. And one of the things of the federal government was they said, hey, you guys got to vote actually on accepting the money. Well, we didn't do that. So we're finishing up the paperwork, but I'm just glad to report that those pumps are online and working very well, and we have averted a big disaster in this town. So good job for the federal government
complete?
Giving us money.
That project complete?
Yeah, they've switched over. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Mello, new business.
Mr. Mayor, Inspiration Fields, doing business at 612 Adams Avenue, has requested a special events permit for the Lahana Trading Golf Tournament to be conducted on May 12, 2023 from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. That application is in order. Fees have been paid, posting's been done. City management recommends favorable consideration.
All right, do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. That passes unanimously with one abstention.
Yes, I'll abstain since I'm on the board and it's at the Lahana Trading.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Inspiration Fields has requested a special events permit for their third annual smokeout to be conducted on June 17th, 2023 from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. That also has been properly posted. The application is in order. Fees have been paid. Management recommends favorable consideration.
All right, do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. Passes unanimously with one abstention.
Mr. Mayor, Inspiration Fields has requested a special events permit for their SECPA golf tournament to be conducted on July 6th, 2023 from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. That application likewise is in order. Fees have been paid, posting's been done. Management recommends favorable consideration.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. That passes unanimously with one abstention.
Mr. Mayor, Inspiration Fields, starting to sound a little redundant here, has requested a special events permit for the same golf tournament, but for the next day, July 7th, 2023, from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. As with the prior applications, it's in order. Fees have been paid, posting's been done. Management recommends favorable consideration.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. And that passes unanimously with one abstention. You're still up, Dean.
Mr. Mayor, Inspiration Fields requests a special events permit for their poker run scheduled for July 15th, 2023 from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. That application is also in order. Posting's been made, fees have been paid. Management recommends favorable consideration.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
No, tied.
Then I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Sorry. All right, I'll ask for your vote. And that passes unanimously with one abstention. Mr. Maloff.
Finally, Ferguson LLC doing business as Boss Hog Saloon and Restaurant at 808 East 3rd Street has requested a renewal of their hotel and restaurant license currently scheduled to expire on June 19th, 2023. That application is in order. Fees have been paid. Posting's been accomplished. City management recommends favorable consideration.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion for the restaurant hotel liquor license for Boss Hog.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. Elaine gets to vote on that one, so that passes unanimously. Mr. Maloff.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Jackson has been doing his good works and has received a discretionary aviation grant. That grant requires a governing board resolution which designates Mr. Jackson as the contact point and indicates that the council is prepared to make whatever budgetary requirements hold. It is a customary resolution. We've seen it over the years dozens of times, and we would ask for the council's favorable consideration.
All right. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. That passes unanimously. Mr. Maloff.
Mr. Mayor, this last ordinance is a request for a supplemental appropriation out of the general fund to provide fees for an investigation to be conducted by non-connected persons as to events that have occurred within the city. The council's discretionary funds, which would be a wonderful place to have used funds to fund this if that's your wish, are expended. So this is new funds that would have to come out of retained earnings.
And did we get an approximate number on that?
No.
So what do you need from us, team?
Need someone to suggest that we introduce it by title only?
So that would be the sheet that you handed out earlier today.
That would be true.
Okay. Do I have any?
I introduced this ordinance to be read by title only.
Thank you. Okay. An ordinance making supplement appropriations to the general fund for the calendar year 2023.
Okay, do I have a motion? I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Hey, before you guys do this, because money is so tight. I'm going to request Councilman Vela, let's not spend this money, and please, would you step down and give us a break on our budget?
No. Because I know you.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. And that passes 6-1. Mr. Maloff.
I'm done.
Committee and board reports. Any committee and board reports? Nope. Moving right along. Rick, you're back on the mic.
All right, okay. There's going to be an open house at the library May 24th from 10 to 12. There is some flyers out there on it. And also on May 1st to May 21st, there's a 6-word story contest. A lot of the ones that everybody talks about is bought shoes, never worn for baby or something like that. And yeah. I love the one, other one, we came, we saw, we conquered. But it tells the whole story, right? So get out your brains and it is a 6-word story. That should be fun. Teen volunteer applications are due May 12th. Summer reading program begins June 5th. And the theme is all together now. So they do have flyers out there. Okay, let's get down to the brass tacks. Okay, the playground people got the playground done last Friday afternoon. But we have, yay, because it's going to turn hot. It would have been, if the pouring place could only be poured in between 50 degrees and 70 degrees. So you know how fast we lose our 70-degree window around here. So I'm glad to see that they did finish it off. We have the bathroom, we have the roof on it. The electrician should be back Thursday or Friday, and we're hoping that the plumbers come in and start doing the interior finish on it. Weather's kind of slowed this project down, pandemic or whatever, but we're getting it done. We've got one shelter up, got one to go. We got to regrade that whole area because of all the storms we've been having. I mean, if you see, there's just big trenches in it right now. Got to get our drainage down, get some gravel, and then we'll temporarily open it up until CDOT decides to give us the notice to proceed on our trail grant, because we're ready to go on the trail. Just waiting for the okay to start bidding on it and stuff. We're still working on with the utility board on the rate study. The senior center, they had an open house on April 21st to showcase all their stuff that they do. If you haven't been by the senior center, or the library, or the pool, or the golf, go out, check it out, see what type of services that we currently have. And then later on, vote for the 1%, and let's keep those entities going. The wildland fire season is here, so everybody be careful. If you're going to go start a fire, go talk to the fire chief, please. June 1st, the pool will open. Soccer has started. Everybody seems to be having a good time so far. And we have level 1 water restrictions going. And what does that mean to you? Do not water between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. any days. Other than that, you're good to go. Electric crews have been installing security lights up at Brick and Tile Park. They have the east side on, and they'll finish off the west side and get those lit up here shortly. They've been doing a circuit bypass at Light Plant Sub, and when that was a power plant, a lot of the, some of the sub station wire came right through the building. Well, that ain't good for a building right now, so they're rewiring it outside of the building. Big cable. So, and the golf course, they'll be hosting the high school tournaments with 12 teams and 56 players this week. And we have had more golf tournaments this year than we ever had in the history.
I think they're all from Inspiration Field.
They got a lot of them. Yeah. Supply chains, there are increasingly complex, and lead times are continuing to be unpredictable at best. And they're longer than what we do. People have gone to the, like, okay, we're going to get that to you in 2 weeks, and then in 2 weeks you call, and then they say, no, it'll be here in 2 months. It's hard to get projects done when you got that type of stuff going. And they're starting to add more shipping costs to us. And over the last year, we've seen a 39% increase on all goods and stuff on the average. We need more money in order to fund this outfit. Otherwise, things will change.
Where we at on asphalt?
And asphalt will be done on every Thursday. That's the only days they're making it. And this week, instead of hitting the water departments, what we'll be doing is hitting key intersections, because we've got a lot of breakout on intersections that are some of our more busier intersections. Walmart, 10th Street, out at Walmart, 6th
Safeway.
and Safeway, 6th and I don't think we'll get them all on one day, but 6th and Grant, they're everywhere popping out.
They're everywhere, and we can't see them all. So if you have one that we're not getting to, let Martin.
Call engineering, yeah, and we'll put it on the list if we don't have it. So, and with that, I'm open to questions.
I had a citizen ask me about the road. What street do you live on, Paul? Bradish, like 18th. You know where Derek Lopez lives?
Yeah,
He said it's separating really bad over there.
Yeah,
So
okay, so same thing's happening on Bradish, and the only thing I could think of what's happening there, because got it happening on 4th Street up around Daniels also. And when you look at those curb lines, they are true, that concrete's true, it's just gone, and we're getting that. When they initially paved those roads, they did it 4 inches thick instead of doing like a 2-inch mat, laying it down, 2-inch mat. So it just spans and does. Yeah, when they laid that road down, they did it wrong. So I've fixed Bradish ones myself when I was city engineer 3 times. Bill, how many times you fixed 4th and Daniels and that out there? 3 or 4? Yeah. And I mean, we've filled them full of asphalt. We've done where we did a combination of crack fill asphalt, and they keep coming back. But this year we're going to fill them back with asphalt on every one of them, because they're about that wide now, and you can't get enough crack filler in, and we'll broke. So yeah, we're aware of that. That's tough, man, because they're getting bigger and bigger.
all right. Any other questions for Rick?
I have a proposal.
For Rick.
I'd like to see you start working on your successor's position description for an assistant to you, and could you have it within a year?
I have an assistant. His name's Bill Jackson. And,
No, but I'm talking about when you retire.
Okay.
Rick has sent me some things already. We haven't went through that yet. So.
What?
I said Rick has sent me some companies that are looking for city managers and city administrators. We're going through all those to see which one fits perfectly for our area.
Yeah.
Nice to know that.
Right. The mayor's been on top of that for a couple, 3 months now.
That's not to say Rick is leaving right now, but just
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Cranston.
Finally, just a comment.
You use the acronym ARPA. The reporter assumed that's Arkansas River Power
no.
Authority. You
No,
need
no.
to clarify that?
Yes. Okay, that's the federal funds. They called theirs the American Rescue something.
Act. American Rescue Plan Act, is it?
Yeah, something like that. So, hey, nice catch, Gary. You know, I forgot that,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I did.
Because we do got an ARPA here too. Yeah.
Governing body comments.
I'd like to commend the Senior Center Advisory Board for hosting and doing a tremendous job with the open house that they had. It was well attended, and there was plenty of informational booths from various departments that got posted down there. So again, thank you to the tremendous board. Thank the fire department. I know they've been busy, but they had an evacuation or an emergency drill at the courthouse. So even with them fighting fires almost constantly now, they're still taking time to help people prepare for events that they could possibly see in the future. And on the power outage that we had last week, I know they're an inconvenience, but thank you to the crews that went out there during a windstorm. And I know it was an exceptionally long one, but it was hazardous with the wind, and it's at night. So thank you to those men who go out there and do that job. It's dangerous, but we'll.
They actually had to put a pole back up, Paul. It just snapped off of that wind, and that takes a while, especially in the wind.
Well, they got the power restored, and thank you to the dangerous job that they've done.
Any other governing body comments?
I have one.
Yes,
Wait up, Ed.
I do.
Wait up.
No, go ahead.
Yes, so I did attend the senior center open house, and that was very nice. They did a great job as well, Paul. That was nice. Also, the 9 Health Fair was well attended, and AVRMC had a lot of volunteers that work there, and they had quite a few people from the community attend that. As well, I'd like to address the ladies' concerns on the ducks. I did get information from Mr. Klein, the city manager. He had posted information about the ordinance, as well as that Brock Hinkhouse was handling the situation. So I apologize that I didn't contact you directly, but it was seeming to me that the hires to be were handling the situation. So, thank you and appreciate your concerns.
Mr. Vela?
Mr. Meloff, if you take a look at this Community One open house for the library, couldn't that be construed as using city funds to promote a sales tax increase?
For an open house?
Yep. Because it says that's all it talks about is consumers who should, let me put my glasses on, who shop local, pay Lahana sales tax. These funds go to the general fund. Each of the posted City of Lahana departments receives funding from the general fund. Current sales tax rate, 3%, hasn't been increased since 1978. A lie. And 63% of sales tax generated comes from residents who live outside city limits. City departments funded by the general fund, and it gives a list of them. Isn't that improper?
State law. Mike.
Good job. Good job.
God, Mike, okay. State law allows for a minimal expenditure up to $75 to promote election matters that are on the ballot, but it limits it. That's a cap. So I don't know how many of these things have been circulated and what the cost would be, but as long as it's less than that number, it's not a violation of state law.
There's no current issue on the ballot, though. How would that?
Well, you're promoting a concept that's anticipated. I think it's an appropriate question, and there are limitations.
Okay, I would like to have you send me that citation if you could.
Sure.
And also for the senior center open house, there was a piece of paper there saying strictly how much engineering department cut out of the budget. It didn't say specifically the sales tax was the result of that, but it did say that. I mean, any citizen who is got the savvy and comes to these meetings quite often or watches it on Facebook surely would know that is a promotion. I thought that was strange too. And one more thing, a positive note, this fifth annual six-word story contest, getting money back to the kids or whoever has a chance at a cash prize. Children K through 7th and teenagers 7th through 12th and adult age 18 over. $50 for the first place winner, $30 to the second place winner, $20 to the third place winner. That's good for having reduced the hours and so forth on the library. That's all I had.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, with that, I received a letter in the mail at my home. It wasn't a great letter. About a month and a half ago, Rick got a similar type of letter, and he sent it to me, and he says, well, what do you think? And I actually took some heat in that letter as well, too. And I said, did they sign it? He said, no. I said, don't worry about it.
There you go.
So then I put my letter up on social media, and Rick calls me. He says, hey, did they sign it? I said, no. He says, then don't worry about it. So it's hard when we're in these situations to get letters like that. You know, we do our best. Everyone on this council does their best to do their best for the community, for La Junta. Whether it's ducks and cats and roads and sales tax and all that stuff. We just want to have a better La Junta for everybody. And I would like to apologize for the email. However, I've been on the phone with Brock every day, and Brock has been keeping me updated to where we're at and when he found the ordinance. And I just assumed he was taking care of that for us. So Brock, kudos to Brock and all the work he did. He says, Joe, I want a victory on this so bad. So he is working hard for the city and for you guys to make sure that we try to get those ducks back. So. But we want to try our best for everybody, and that's not to say one issue is more important than the other. We just want a better La Junta. And there's so much stuff that goes on every day. Every day, me and Rick will be on the phone with a list of things that are going on. Me and Dean are driving around saying, okay, how do we clean up these yards? How do we do this? How do we work on this? We put in a lot of time to make this a great city. Okay? And I do this for free. For absolutely nothing, because I love this town so much. All right, so when I get letters like this, it hurts, you know, because I'm doing my best for you guys. So I'm not going to resign.
No, and if you were a real person, you'd come and say it in face to face, because that's what real men do, is say it face to face, not behind the letter or nothing.
Yeah. So with that said, I'm not going to resign. And I'm still planning on running again. And that's not to say no one else can't put their name in that. I absolutely welcome that. Whether you're in a ward, whether you're running for mayor, I welcome that. But these kinds of things aren't going to stop me. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of stuff that needs to get done. And I plan on being here to finish the job. So. I wish I could adjourn on that, but we have executive session, so someone needs to read.
I had one more question.
Go ahead.
About pamphlet from the Arkansas Valley Conduit Boone Reach groundbreaking event.
Ed Vela, Councilman Vela attended and wanted me to hand those out. I didn't go.
For a short reference, so you don't have to have all kinds of papers, 8.5 by 11, to keep track of it whenever there's a reference to the conduit.
So you attended?
Yeah, I attended.
Okay, so tell us about it.
No, because you know what? Rick told me this morning, you weren't supposed to go to that. None of us went to it. I said, well, nobody told me. And if you want my comments on it, read that, because they gave a bunch of fluff, in my opinion. And I was interviewed by Channel 5, and they did not put it on TV because the things I put in there were against what that whole version, that whole scenario was supposed to be about. It was all fluff. The things I talked about there to the television camera was that things that you hear in utility board and amongst ourselves. And I don't have to tell you that, being you're a member of it. But who was asking me? Oh, Rick thought they were serving hot dogs and stuff. No, all they had was a donut and warm coffee, which wasn't bad. And I looked around, I said, where's Councilman Velasquez? He's always riding the highway. Wasn't around. And that's the extent of it.
All right, thanks for the report.
Yeah, I wish somebody would tell me when something like this is going on. I've been shut out for about 2.5 months with any communication from any of you. So if we could increase communication, whether you like me or not, that would be a great benefit.
Ms. Leonard, do you have something you'd like to say?
Would you indulge me for a minute, Mr. Mayor? I was on a little emergency and missed the citizens' comments.
It was about the ducks that have been taken from the city park.
No, I
She has
would like
something
to
to
say
say.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. I thought you asked what happened during the citizen
No,
participation.
thank you.
Can you come to the mic, please, so everyone can hear you?
And thank you. I'm so sorry. This is out of order. I'm a constituent out of Ward 3, and I just want to applaud the council for the vote that they took 2 weeks ago. It is never easy to investigate a fellow colleague.
Objection, Mr. Counselor.
Mr. Vela.
She's
Mr. Vela.
She's been given,
She's going to say something that could prejudice the decision of the investigation.
in your opinion, I respect your opinion, but she's been given permission to talk for
Okay.
up to 5 minutes.
Thank you,
There's-
Mr.
I
Mayor.
just wanted to ask.
And I just wanted to applaud. It's never easy to do that, but I feel like it sent a message that you speak for all the people in Lahana instead of just the people in power, and I wanted to thank you for that because I know it wasn't easy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who's taking us to executive?
I'll read it.
It's on your agenda.
I make a motion for executive session for the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and/or instructing negotiators under CRS subsection 24-6-402, parenthesis 4, parenthesis E.
Do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion? I'll ask for your vote. That is unanimous. Thank you all for coming out tonight. No, there will be no business conducted afterwards.
No action. Thank you. For Lahana City Council and the people of Southeast Colorado, I'm Adrian Hart with your Southeast Colorado News.